Toronto. Congrats, they clinched the playoffs, earliest that they've done so. 42 from DeRozan, 15 assists. Don't forget that from Kyle Lowry.
Wow.
Here is the red-hot Double D after the game.
We came out a lot more aggressive. We came out with a sense of urgency. First half, we didn't. We was like playing in mud, missing a lot of shots. We were letting our shots dictate our defense, and we picked it up the second half.
Good teams find different ways to win. Tonight was another one. Just talk about the grit and toughness that your team showed tonight, battling back on the road.
That's us. We're going to battle. We're going to battle till there's no more time on the clock.
We've watched the standings this year, and we wonder about the importance of seeding, right? Last year, Boston the 1, didn't matter. Cleveland still gets by them. Well, Toronto was the 1 seed, and they played pretty dominantly at home. Has looked like a 1 seed, gentlemen, here over the last month and a half. They've been red hot. Congrats, they clinched the playoffs. Smitty, let me start with you. What tells you that they're more dangerous than just the record shows for these Eastern Conference teams in the playoffs?
One, player development down in Toronto. They've done a nice job of getting these younger guys ready to be able to play playoff basketball. Second, Dwayne Casey is still stuck to his principles. He's a defensive-minded guy. They are defending. And then third, the style of play on offense. They've taken the ball out of Kyle Lowry's hands and also sometimes out of DeRozan's hands and had guys like Fred VanVleet make plays and also DeRozan be more facilitator. The ball is moving more, and he's played a deeper roster and wore teams down. And I think right now is that experience, that development, and those young guys. And I think also the attitude of Kyle Lowry and DeRozan coming back with a young guy like Fred VanVleet. Right. You saw him hit that big-time shot, and he act like he's been a 10-year vet. He has definitely helped that second unit, and they're pretty good.
And TD Griff made, I thought, a good point when the guys were on just before we came on, that Coach Casey kept with that bench in this fourth quarter when it was up and down. And how much of that comes down to, you guys tell me, from a coaching side of it, TD, knowing that in those moments in the playoffs, he needs to trust those guys?
You think about Dwayne Casey when he won a championship with the Dallas Mavericks, is that they had a lot of really good bench players. They were older, they were veterans, so they were guys that were prepared for the big-time moments. And VanVleet, you talk about a guy that was 1-9 at that point. He took that shot with confidence because it's the culture, and also the players trusted in him. You talk about DeMar DeRozan drove in, drew all the defense, and he saw an open player. He made the right play, first of all. And when you can do that, and like you said, if Coach Casey keeps trusting and relying on this bench, they're going to deliver something big for him, because you can't just stop the rotation once you get to the playoff. I've seen coaches that when they get to the playoff, they're playing a lot of guys, and they cut their rotation down to about 6 or 7 guys, and now you don't play those guys anymore. It's that you built that trust, and you have to go back to those guys if somebody gets hurt or someone gets in foul trouble. So I rely on my bench because I know what my starters and my star players are going to give me, but I need to trust some guys off the bench.
We've been talking about this, but if you're watching this team the last couple of years, and Smitty, you and I have talked about this the last couple of weeks, they've gone from a team who you don't know how to extend the rotation to now you actually have to shorten the rotation come playoffs. We know that DeMar DeRozan is going to get his time. The three-pointer was something we talked about right before the season. He's elevated there. What ways has he become more of an MVP caliber player this year?
Well, I think for me is what he's doing to help and make others better. I've always thought that DeMar DeRozan is a guy who can always been able to score. And obviously the three-point shot has been one of those areas everybody wants him to get better, and he has. But he's stuck to his principle. He's still been able to knock down shots in the mid-range. But for me is being able to score without dominating the basketball, without me and Tony Delk being his teammates and saying, okay, we're just sitting here watching. He is sharing the basketball and making some plays, not having big-time assists, but sharing that basketball. And then I think also his approach defensively, willing to move to the three, willing to do whatever it takes to win games. And you can see, and he's gotten better each year.
And if you are that superstar, you're going to get your touches. You're going to get your shots. So it's about trusting your teammates and being able to pass the ball and make the extra pass, draw the defense like he did at the end of the game. And, yeah, he could have forced that shot up and tried to be the hero. But what he did, he trusted the teammate because he's seen that guy make shots over and over again. And you're going to need that player, one of those playoff series, when, let's say, Lowry's out of the game and Fred VanVleet is open. I have to make that play to him. We've seen Michael Jordan do it in the past. We've seen Kobe do it in the past. And if you're a great player, you have to trust your teammates.